India, a country with over 1 billion people and over 1 million causes. So which are the causes we're going to pick? Hunger, poverty, malnutrition, abuse of women, abuse of children. There's no end to the number of causes that we can possibly think of. Health, old age, environment, sustainability, plastic, the river Ganga. And the point really is, what's your cause? Pick a cause and make it yours. You can see my cause picked me. I had cancer at the age of 38. My boys were 7 and 3. It was a dreadful year of surgeries, chemotherapy, a colostomy, a bag on my side, the reversal of that colostomy. But far worse than that was the depression. And the depression came from a feeling of not having given back. I was privileged. I had so much that I had been given, and I hadn't given back. I hadn't done anything to actually make a difference to the world. I also lived in fear of dying. I was afraid that I would die. I was afraid that I would leave my boys motherless. So I made a plea bargain with my spiritual maker, and I pledged that in return for my life, I would come back to India and I would be there to hold the hand of any child with cancer or their family across the country. But my story today is not about me. It's about that 7-year-old boy. He came and joined this school, a school that taught him to fly with his own wings. But not just that. It also taught him to hold out a helping hand and to fly in the face of another storm. Angad grew to be the president of the school and then flew away to do a liberal arts education in the United States of America. There too, he joined a group called Build India. And Build India focused on creating a sustainable development in a small village somewhere in the back of Tamil Nadu called Thotapati. For the next 3 summers, this very privileged young man spent his days 3 weeks at a time sleeping in a mud hut, eating rice and salt. He still dislikes rice to this day, and actually learning how to make change, benefiting from the global leadership programs that he had partaken of in the US. Angad then came back after college and took a gap year. He chose to take a gap year and work in our NGO. In the 15 years that I have run Can Kids, Kids Can, this not-for-profit that we set up as a pledge so that my boys would have their mother. In those 15 years, not another young person has come and work with us. And yet, for the very privileged education that you have, for the very privileged lives that you have, for the kind of world-class institutions that schools and colleges like this represent, I can tell you that Angad actually made a palpable difference to the NGO that he worked for. This is the beauty of the education that you have. Angad then went away to the UK to study law, and what we hoped would be a career in corporate law. But he came back, and today he works in a development sector consultancy, and he works for the cause that actually he found was important to him, which is women empowerment and fighting gender inequality. So, what do you think was Angad's biggest challenge? You probably guessed it right. It was his parents. Yes, agreed? Because we said to him, you don't have any hunger in your belly. This is why you made this choice. And he said, well, you know, you stuffed me silly all the time, so of course I never got hungry. But at the same time, tell me, Mom, with all that I have, is it not a good thing that I actually fill the bellies of other people? We said to him, what about peer pressure? What about your self-esteem? And he said, the peer pressure that you feel is yours. You are worried about the fact that your friends would feel that I'm not making as much money as my dad, or I'm not making as much money as their children do. I don't mind. I'm fine with what I'm doing. We said to him, you need to stand on your own feet. And here's a boy who comes from a well-off background, and he has his investments, and with that and that slightly lower salary, he actually does quite well. And what Angad said was, I'm already standing on my own feet, Mom. I think I should help other people stand on theirs. So then we argued with him and said, but what about success? What does success mean to you? And what does success mean to all of you? And I think many of the things would be the same. Success to all of us means good school, good grades, a great college, a good job, a lot of money, good social status, right? Comfortable life. But there is one big difference in your world of today, and that is that it is also about making a difference. And this, I think, is what's important for us to see and understand in today's world. Angad today is 26. He's now working, like many of his friends. They've moved into adulthood. So I asked him, I said, tell me that spark that is so easy to light when you're in school and college. How do you keep that spark alive? And it was interesting to me that you millennials today actually already have most of it right. What did they say? Here are some of the things that we all know, we all already understand, and we can learn. That in fact, all of us as human beings really want to care, really enjoy and have a satisfaction from helping other people. So can we do something in our work lives, in our personal lives, that allows us to actually feel that joy that comes from giving? Number one. And if we want to feel that joy, then yes, pick a cause. Find causes that you connect with. Find things that matter to you, because it is that human connection that is obviously the most important. Find like-minded people. Find people who also feel the same way about the same cause, because in order to live that cause, to make a difference over time, you need to work with people. Actually achieving things on your own can be really, really difficult. So work together with other people. And then we talk about that making the difference, right? So what is it that makes the difference? Well, when you're studying education, you need to study 10, 12 years, 15 years, right? You sustain, you stick with it. A relationship, you stick with it, it works. A marriage, you stick with it, it works. Parenting, I'm still parenting till today. And I will probably till I have grandchildren, until my children start parenting me back. So in order to achieve and make a difference, you need to stick with it. And the same thing applies to a cause. Stick with the cause over a period of time. The beauty of today's world is that while you could, of course, associate with an NGO, more and more organizations, be they corporates or even schools or colleges or academic institutions, today know and understand that they have to respond to societal concerns. People look more and more to creating a sustainable future. So it's not necessary that if you pick a cause and you make it yours, you actually work with an NGO. Though, of course, we do need more and more young people to join not-for-profits like ours. But it is important for you to connect and to stay with it. And so, the last piece of it, you do live in a far more complex world than we grew up in. And within that complex world, you want it all. But the truly special thing about today's young people is that you want to make a holistic change. You want to live holistic lives. And in order to do that, you need to actually look at trying to create good balances so that you can do it all. So let's talk about balances. Work-life balance. All of you would have heard of that. And how do we make a work-life balance? In the middle is the self, yourself. Always look after yourself first. And because I'm a health advocate, I'm going to tell you this. Please look after your health always. No drugs, no alcohol, no tobacco, but also be mindful of your health. But once we've done yourself and looking after yourself, there's family to look after. There are friends you need to reach out to. The world knows more and more today that these social relationships are important for us to become whole human beings. We need to work, and that work is not just because you need to earn a living, and of course it is important for all of us to stand on our own feet, but also because you are productive members of society. You receive world-class education so that you can contribute back and actually be productive and give back. A message I especially give to young ladies today, many of whom actually study hard but then get defeated by India and all the norms and actually give up careers. Please keep working. And yet you will see the balance is not yet complete. And that balance is not yet complete because without social action, there is no full balance. And you will find that if you don't bring social action into your lives, you will still be leading an unbalanced life. Gone are the days, and my generation, where we said, I will only give back to society when I've made lots of money, and then I will retire, and then I will work for a social cause. Your generation, your world is different. And the way to do this is to find the balances. Like I said earlier, to actually make sure you keep working alongside whatever it is you choose to do. And I have given you a lot of tips today on how you can actually achieve that. So, because what the world needs, what society needs, what your country needs, and what your community around you needs is, take a guess, you. The world needs you. And you, yourself, your community needs to figure out ways to give back. So then, what do we need to do this? We need to look within ourselves. You need to find the hero in you. Do not give up the challenge of working and social action as you grow out of school and college and go into real lives, into your adult lives. Stick with it. Take a resolve. Say I'm a hero. Believe I can make a difference. And resolve. There's this beautiful song from 1985, and I'm going to ask you to make the pledge. This is a song that actually raised enormous amounts of funds for famine relief in Africa. And I think it will forever hold true. And if ever it does, much more than ever before, it holds true today. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who can make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice that we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's you who make a better day. Just you and me. Because we are able and because we can. Thank you.